I think I've done most of the things I wanted to do. Not everything, of course. Nobody does everything, but enough to feel content. These days, as long as I can still be useful to someone, still get up in the morning and feel part of things, that's enough for me. My name is Arthur Hale. I turned 102 this spring. People always ask what it feels like to live this long. The truth is, it doesn't feel as long as it sounds. Life feels quite ordinary while you're living it. You don't notice the years passing until you begin to outlive people you once thought would have. Apart from the war years and a short time away studying, I never really left. When I was young, I thought I would travel everywhere. Funny thing is, most of my important memories happened close to home. I've been retired longer than I worked now. That still makes me smile. Sometimes I joke that the government forgot to stop paying me. A small victory, I suppose. You learn not to rush things when you get older. 102 is only a number. You wake up, you make a cup of tea, you look out the window, and you carry on. I've had a lucky life. Not easy, but lucky. I never thought of myself as unlucky. Even when things went wrong, there was always something good left if you looked for it. I spend a lot of time remembering now, not in a sad way, just quietly. Faces come back to me, people I worked with, neighbors, friends. Sometimes I sit in my chair and try to place everyone where they belong in the story of my life. It's strange how clearly you remember small things. A laugh, a conversation, the way someone used to say your name. You realize eventually that life isn't made of big moments. It's made of ordinary days that you didn't know you would miss. I've never been afraid of getting older. The body slows down, yes, but inside you still feel like yourself.
I remember this day so clearly. It feels like yesterday.
The same person, just with more memories. People talk a lot about failure. I never worried about it much. I don't have many failures. If I make a cake and it fails, it becomes a pudding. Life works like that too. Things don't always turn out the way you planned, but they can still become something good. That's something you only understand later. There's a saying I heard many years ago that stayed with me. We all have two lives. The second one begins when we realize that we only have one. I didn't understand it when I was young. I do now. You stop waiting for the perfect time. You start appreciating what's already there. If I could give one piece of advice, it would be this. Be as independent as you can, but don't be reluctant to ask for help when you think you need it. People spend too much time pretending they don't need anyone. In the end, we all do. I've had a good life. I wouldn't change much. And the things I would change, well, they helped me become who I am anyway. So I just keep going. That's the main thing.
My name is Elena Markovich. I am 105 years old. When people hear that number, they look surprised, as if I must have discovered some secret. I haven't. Life simply kept moving, and I kept moving with it. I was born in a small town in Central Europe. During the war, I lived with my grandparents for a time because my father had been taken away. I remember waiting for news that didn't come, and my mother trying to make everything feel normal when nothing really was. When the war ended, we came to England to begin again. Everything felt unfamiliar. The language, the streets, even the food. But when you are young, you adapt without thinking too much about it. You just learn to continue. I think that's something life teaches you over and over again. You continue, even when you don't feel ready. I've always loved people, talking to them, listening to them, watching how different everyone is. Even now, I enjoy going out, walking through shops, hearing conversations around me. Being among people makes me feel alive. When I look back, I don't think about achievements. I think about moments. Sitting at the kitchen table late in the evening, laughing about nothing in particular. Ordinary happiness. I married young. He was kind, and that mattered more than anything else. We didn't always agree. No marriage does. But we stayed. I think people sometimes forget that love grows stronger when you choose to stay through difficult times. The hardest part of my life came early. I had twins, and I lost them. There is no way to explain that feeling properly. For a long time, the house felt too quiet. People told me time would heal it. I don't think time heals. I think it teaches you how to carry the pain without letting it stop your life. Later, I had a daughter. She brought laughter back into the house. Children do that. They remind you that life continues whether you are ready or not. Even now, when I sit alone, I don't feel alone. The people you love never really disappear. They stay in your thoughts, in small habits, in memories that return when you least expect them. Sometimes I speak to them out loud. If someone heard me, they might think I was talking to myself, but I'm not. I'm remembering. There is a peace that comes with age. You stop asking why certain things happened. You accept that joy and sadness belong to the same life. If I could tell younger people anything, it would be this: don't rush through your days. The moments you think are ordinary will one day become the ones you miss the most. I have beautiful memories. Because of them, I feel I can rest easily. Not because life was perfect, but because it was full. And in the end, that is enough.
My name is Thomas Reed. I'm 93 now, though in my head, I don't feel much different from 30. The body reminds you, of course, knees mostly. But inside, you still feel like yourself. That surprised me when I got older. I always imagined old age would feel completely different. It doesn't. You just carry more years behind you. I was born in Manchester before the war. Life felt slower then, or maybe we were just more patient. Even during difficult times, there was a sense that things would work themselves out eventually. I wasn't especially serious when I was young. I stayed up late, listened to music on the radio when I should have been sleeping. My mother used to come downstairs in the morning and shake her head at me. At the time, it felt like nothing important. Now, those are the moments I remember most clearly. Later, I settled into work as a pharmacist. Ordinary life, really. Work during the day, family in the evenings, weekends that passed too quickly. You don't realize while you're living it that those ordinary years are the ones building your life. I've always believed in simple routines. I still make my own bread when I can. Habit from childhood. Everything we ate back then came straight from the garden. Nothing wasted. If something didn't turn out right, you found another use for it. Life is much the same. People ask about regrets. I don't carry many. They're small things. Words I didn't say, moments I didn't recognize as important until later. I once disappointed my father without meaning to. I thought there would always be time to make it right. That's something you learn eventually. Time feels endless until suddenly it isn't. If I've learned anything, it's that people matter more than plans. Work ends, money disappears. But kindness stays with people long after you're gone. Be as independent as you can, yes, but don't be too proud to ask for help when you need it. Nobody gets through life alone, even if they think they do. I think many people spend their younger years preparing for life instead of living it. Then one day they realize how quickly it passed. That's when the second life begins, when you understand that this one is the only one you have. And strangely, that realization doesn't make life sad. It makes it clearer. You start to notice small things again. A quiet morning, a conversation, the feeling of being somewhere familiar. If you're lucky, you reach a point where you don't need everything to be perfect anymore. You just want peace, a good memory, someone to talk to. My wife used to say that happiness wasn't something you found at the end. It was something you noticed along the way. I think she was right. So my advice is simple. Treat people well. Be patient. Don't hold on to anger longer than necessary. And keep going, even when the road feels long. Because at the end of it all, what remains isn't what you achieved. It's who you loved and who loved you back. I don't know how much time any of us have left. None of us do. But I know this much. If you've lived honestly, if you've cared for people, if you've done your best, then there's nothing to be afraid of when things grow quiet. You simply sit with your memories, and that's enough.
You have to keep up with the times. What worked 80 or 90 years ago doesn't always work today. Communicate. Speak with your parents. Take that advice, or at least consider it. You don't always have to follow it, but don't throw it away.
The small moments you almost overlook will one day be the ones that carry you through. Be kind, stay a little longer, and don't be afraid to remember.
Time spent preparing is seldom wasted. Be as independent as you can, but don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Treat people well. Show respect. Help others as much as you can, and it will be repaid 100-fold.
The morning dust settles on the windowsill, where the tea grows cold and the clock stands still. I have walked the miles through the jagged terrain, learning how to dance with the ghost of the pain. The road doesn't care if your shoes are worn, Oh, how many promises have been torn? You just lift your chin and you adjust the pack, looking